Hello there guys, and welcome to Mad Doc Minis. In this video I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of these marvellous Mark III breacher marines sent to me from Tortuga Bay. They are a proper multi-part kit. As you can see here, the torsos are separate from the legs, and I've also got heads and arm options there as well. I've got a squad of 5 of them, and they're looking really good. Beautifully detailed, as we've come to expect from Tortuga, and the scaling looks really nice here. They're actually pretty close to Primera size in scale, maybe just a tad shorter, but we will do a proper comparison later on in the video. So I've got all the kind of bits and pieces going on here. We've got the heads. I actually got 10 heads, so I've got a few spares there as well. But these helmets are really nice. They're a bit different from the Games Workshop style of Mark III. We've got that kind of rounded skull cap and the spike on top, which I think would lend itself perfectly to a Death Guard squad. As it happens, I actually paint these up in my homebrew chapter colours, but I say it really screams Death Guard. That I really like the helmet design. I also get a really big load of pouches and stowage as well thrown in, and I don't actually use that in this build, but that will definitely come in very handy for me because I'm always using stowage on my Marines, so I really appreciate getting that. These are the breacher shields, beautifully detailed. You've got nice emblems on the front of them, and you've also got a flat one as well, so you can maybe freehand something on there or put some nice transfers on there or something. The bolters are very close approximations of the proper Mark III bolt guns, and the arms, I believe, are all pretty much interchangeable. They're not individually numbered or lettered as far as I can tell, so you can put them together in a fairly relaxed way, I would say. The only thing I didn't get in this set is backpacks, but I improvised some. I actually used some old tactical squad backpacks. I just didn't really want to spend the money and buy Mark III backpacks off eBay because they're quite expensive for what they are. And I just convert these very rough and ready to approximate Mark III power packs. But that comes later in the video, bear with me there. So I go ahead and tidy up some of the pieces. The bottom of the feet are the main area that requires this. They just need to be shaved down. After all, these are resin miniatures, and really, considering that, there isn't actually that much tidying up to do at all. They're very high quality and very clean overall. The bottom of the feet is the main area. There are some bits on the torsos that you might also need to kind of shave down, and on one or two of the arms, but really nothing to write home about, guys. It's nothing like, you know, some of the stuff that you would get from Forge World, for instance, which is kind of like, you know, you're thinking, why did I bother with this? But yeah, tidy up, not an issue as far as I'm concerned here. So this little notch here is for the shield. You kind of figure out where that goes by kind of messing around with it. They do sit very snugly on top of the arms there. Obviously, when you're putting them together, you may want to leave the shields off for painting purposes. I would highly recommend doing that, but I'm just showing you how they come together in the video. And here you can see that I'm just tidying up a couple of the arms and the hands here. So it's just clipping and snipping bits off. It's really not too much tidy up, and I'm just going to dry fitting before I start putting the Marines together properly, just getting an idea of the positioning of the arms. Always a good idea with this kind of stuff, just to give yourself an idea of where you're heading and the rules of the miniature, what you can get away with and what you can't. So I go ahead and tweak around with the shields, just trying different positions, trying to understand the limitations of the arms, as I said. And eventually I start to kind of glue the Marines together. So I get the arms on there. We've got a nice little notch for the bolter to poke through, which is wonderful. And it is actually quite forgiving. You don't have to be really exact with this, or I didn't when I was putting them together, which is helpful. So you can be quite chilled when you're putting them together. You don't have to pay too close attention to that. Backpacks, so I just kind of go ahead and snip off the kind of exhaust vents on the side here, and I actually use some kind of plastic beads, some like kind of tube shaped beads. I'll stick them up on the screen in a second so you know what they are, and that is a really, well, low-tech, rough and ready approximation of a Mark III backpack. These things here, this is what I use. I got them from a shop called Tiger in the UK, but I'm sure you can get them on eBay and Amazon and places like that pretty cheap, and you get lots of them. So I just kind of go ahead and sand those down a little bit and glue them directly onto those kind of nozzle receivers there, and it just makes them look a little bit more, well, archaic, I suppose, and takes away from that familiar tactical squad backpack. So yeah, there you go. Nothing spectacular, but if you wanted to make cheap Mark III backpacks, you know, it's a method you might want to consider. There we are. So they look a lot better when they're painted up, I promise, guys. So I go ahead and glue those on, and you might want to pay a little bit of attention to the height of how high up you want the backpack, but this worked well for me. So yeah, they came together really, really well, and I got a squad of 5 together, and as I said, I decided to paint them in my homebrew chapter colours, and I put some transfers on the shoulder pads and the shields. I did take the shields back off for painting. I just wanted to show you how to put them together in the video, so definitely leave the shields off, guys, otherwise you'll make it a bit of a pain in the backside painting them up. But here they are. Apologies that I didn't kind of keep them kind of spray primed in this footage. I really wanted to get on and paint them, so they'll come through a little bit darker on screen, but this is my homebrew chapter colours, and yeah, I'm really liking it. I threw a bit of gold down on the shields and on the details there, and that really makes them pop. They are wonderful miniatures. I can't really fault them, to be honest with you, and the scaling I think is very good, and I will actually go into a little bit more detail there and give you some direct comparisons between some key miniatures. So first of all, I think let's compare against Acadian, a new Acadian, okay, which remember are quite a lot more dainty than the old chunky guys, and here the Space Marine is suitably dwarfing the human, and that is good. Now this is a nice comparison. He's a good deal taller and bulkier, and that's kind of what we want when comparing to a regular human being. Next up is a Mark III. This is an older kit now, but remember we are getting some updated ones soon, which will undoubtedly be taller. But for now, this is looking quite squat and dumpy next to this Tortuga Bay miniature, which is to be expected. They are of a bigger size and scale. Next we have a Mark VI, which of course is the in-betweeny scale. We can expect the Mark IIIs to be the same size when the new ones come out. And here, this is quite a good comparison. They're quite similarly sized. I think the Mark VI is ever so slightly shorter. Moving on, and now we compare against a Primaris Space Marine, just for the complete kind of you know, comparison really, and I think it's pretty close comparison here. The Tortuga Bay miniature is very slightly shorter, but not much. The backpack is a bit misleading because it sits higher on the Primaris. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please consider liking and sharing, and if you're not already subscribed, consider giving us a sub. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next video soon. Cheers.